大家好，欢迎你回到 CHI 114的频道，我是高老师。今天我们要开始学第9课，对话1。第9课说什么？买东西。Hey everybody, and welcome back to CHI 114 pre-class videos. In this video, we'll be focused on Lesson 9, Dialogue 1, Part 1. If you watch this video and do what it asks you to do, you will be able to accomplish the following learning goals. Number 1, you'll be able to read, understand, and pronounce using correct tones all of the assigned vocab words for next class's in-class quiz. Number 2, you'll be able to read and fully comprehend on your own the textbook dialogue. And number 3, you'll have a basic understanding of the dialogue's main grammar points. And there are 4 that we're going to focus on here in this pre-class video. 准备好了吗？好的，我们开始吧。Let's begin preparing for the next class session by first listening to the audio of our new vocab words from Lesson 9, Dialogue 1. To follow along in your textbook, please turn to page 236.
Lesson 9, Dialogue 1. Vocabulary. 1.
商店
Store. Shop. 2.
买
To buy. 3.
东西
Things. Objects. 4.
售货员
Shop assistant. Sales clerk. 5.
衣服
Clothes. 6.
件
Measure word for shirts, dresses, jackets, coats, etc. 7.
衬衫
Shirt. 8.
颜色
Color. 9.
黄
Yellow. 10.
红
Red. 11.
穿
To wear. To put on. 12.
条
Measure word for pants and long, thin objects. 13.
裤子
Pants. 14.
号
Size. 15.
中
Medium. Middle. 16.
便宜
Cheap. Inexpensive.
Please go back now and listen to this audio at least 2 more times, repeating out loud what you hear. Let's move on now and listen to the audio from the textbook dialogue. To follow along in your own textbook, please turn to page 234.
Lesson 9. Dialogue 1. Shopping for clothes.
李友在一个商店买东西，售货员问他
小姐，您要买什么衣服？
我想买一件衬衫
您喜欢什么颜色的？黄的还是红的？
我喜欢穿红的，我还想买一条裤子。
多大的？大号的？中号的？还是小号的？
中号的，不要太贵的，也不要太便宜的。
Please go back and listen to this audio at least 2 more times, just to make sure you can fully understand what both speakers are saying. By the way, if you would like to find these audio files on your own, I've posted them to Canvas for you. All you need to do is go to Canvas, click on the Files tab on the left, and that'll take you to this screen, where it'll have two folders, one labeled Textbook Audio, the other one Workbook Audio. To listen to the audio of the textbook vocab words and dialogue, you would click on the Textbook Audio folder, or to complete your homework assignments, that is the listening part of your homework assignments, you would click on the Workbook Audio folder. Now that you've listened to the audio of the vocab words and dialogue, it's time to start really practicing remembering those new vocab words from Lesson 9, Dialogue 1. And one of the most effective methods to do this is to use Quizlet. So to start using Quizlet, all you have to do is scan the QR code on your screen or click on the link below in the description section of the video. Let's look at the first grammar point for the next class session. The 售货员, right, the sales attendant, says this: 小姐,你要买什么衣服? So let's focus on this 要 and how it functions in this lesson. So in this lesson, it means to desire to do something, and it's a very strong intensity, much more so than 想, the other word that we know meaning to want. Also important to bear in mind here that if you want to negate 要, you should say 不想. It's not as intense as 不要. Also, please do go back to Lesson 6. If you remember in Lesson 6, Dialogue 2, we also had this modal verb 要. There it meant will be going to do something, indicating a future action, especially a scheduled event or an activity that one's committed to. For example, 明天下午常老师要给2年级考试. So there it's tomorrow, 常老师, tomorrow afternoon, 常老师 will give second year students a test. So that's not so much a desire to do something, that's just indicating a future action. But here in this lesson, we're going to focus on 要, meaning a desire to do something. 我们可以说我要去商店买衣服. Here, this 要 is indicating that you want to go to the store to buy clothing. 好,我们来练习中文怎么说中文怎么说 I want to drink cola. He wants to drink tea. 我要喝可乐他要喝茶. So again, this 要 is indicating a desire to do something, and it's a strong desire to do something. 中文怎么说 I don't want to buy that pair of pants. So here we are negating the modal verb 要. 我不想买那条裤子. Right? 我不想. So 不想 is I don't want to buy that pair of pants. So when you negate 要 in this instance, it's more appropriate to use 不想. 好,我们来看这个句子。我不要去图书馆看书。我不要去图书馆看书. So grammatically speaking, this sentence is correct. You could say this. However, the tone is much stronger than 不想. That's the key difference here. 不要 expresses a strong desire not to do something. 不想 just suggests that you don't want to do it at this moment, but perhaps you will do it in the future. 好,我们来练习. So please translate these two sentences below using either 要 or 不想. You may want to pause the video now because I'm about to give away the answers. 第一,中文怎么说?我明天要在家睡觉,不想跟朋友去买东西. So here in the first clause, we're using yao, a strong desire to do something. I want to stay home and sleep. And in the second clause, we're suggesting we're negating it by saying we don't want to go shopping with friends. And so here we're using the 不想。第二呢，中文怎么说？我今天晚上要吃中国菜，不想吃美国菜。So again, in the first clause, we're using yao to indicate a desire to do something, a desire to eat Chinese food. In the second clause, we're using 不想 to illustrate that we don't want to eat American food right now, but perhaps we will want to eat it in the future. Let's move on and look at the second grammar point in Lesson 9, Dialogue 1. Leo says this sentence. 我想买一件衬衫. 件 here, hopefully you realize, is functioning as a measure word. And just for a reminder, if you go back to Lesson 2 in your textbook, that's the first time we see this concept of measure words in Chinese. Measure words are important. It's quite different than English, right? Measure words are used to denote the quantitative unit of people, things, and other nouns. So when you have 2 of something, 3 of something, 4 of something, or 1 of something, you're going to need a measure word. I've listed here on the screen all of the different measure words that we've studied or that we will study in Lesson 9. So please take a moment now and fill in the blanks below using the proper measure word. And again, you're probably going to want to pause the video here because I'm about to give away the answers. 第一，2杯咖啡，2杯咖啡. There the proper measure word is 杯, meaning cup. 第二，3节课。3节课. For classes and class sessions or sections, you're going to want to use 节 as the measure word. 第三，4件衣服。4件衣服. 件 is the measure word used for clothing. 第四，一条裤子。一条裤子. So 条 is a measure word oftentimes used for longer objects. 裤子 meaning pants are long. 第五，2张纸。2张纸. 张 is the measure word used for flat objects like paper or tables. 第六，一篇课文。一篇课文. 篇 here is the measure word used for the text. Remember, 篇 can also be used for diary. 日记. Let's move on now and look at the third grammar point from Lesson 9. The 售货员 says this sentence. 您喜欢什么颜色的？黄的还是红的？ So notice here how there's 3 of these does in this sentence. I've got the orange arrow under the first one, but we have another duh here, and we have another duh here. So when you have a duh structure, like you see here in the textbook, what's happening is that it's turning it into a noun phrase. So grammatically, a does structure is equivalent to a noun. So here, when the 售货员 says, 您喜欢什么颜色的？黄的还是红的? Here, the 颜色 is what color do you like? Like which one? Is it the yellow one? Do you like the yellow colors, the yellow pants, or the red pants? So here, the subject or the object is being left off, and instead you're just using the duh to illustrate that it is a noun phrase. 好，我们来练习。今天看了2个电影，一个美国的，一个中国的。Here the duh is creating a noun phrase, an American one and a Chinese one. Right? I watched 2 movies today, an American one and a Chinese one. You don't need to repeat 电影, you can just use the duh to create the noun phrase. 中文怎么说？中文怎么说？你的衬衫是大号的、中号的，还是小号的？ Here again, the 大号的、中号的、小号的, these are creating noun phrases. Large, the large shirt, medium shirt, small shirt. 中文怎么说？中文怎么说？你爸爸喜欢穿什么颜色的裤子？你爸爸喜欢穿什么颜色的裤子？ So here, again, this "的" is creating a larger noun phrase. What color pants does your dad like to wear?
好的，我们练习一下。Let's take a moment to practice the "的" structure. Please translate the sentences below using "的" where appropriate. And please pause the video now and try your best to complete these exercises on your own. 第一，你的衬衫是大号的、中号的，还是小号的？你的衬衫是大号的、中号的，还是小号的？第二呢？你爸爸喜欢穿什么颜色的裤子？你爸爸喜欢穿什么颜色的裤子？
So let's move on now and look at the final grammar point from Lesson 9, Dialogue 1, Part 1. And here we're going to use 多, the adverb 多, interrogatively, which pretty much means you're just going to use 多 to create a question. Let's look how this appears in the text. The 售货员 says, 多大的、大号的、中号的，还是小号的？ So in this lesson, 多 is an adverb and it's used to ask questions. So 多 is usually followed by an adjective then that can be translated into English as how adjective is ... So just replace the word adjective here with whatever adjective it is, and that's how you create this question. And an important point to bear in mind here is that the adjectives that follow 多 are usually big ones or large ones. So like 大, 长, 高, these are ones that tend to be used. Usually words that denote a diminutive quality, like a smaller quality, like 小 and 矮, are not typically used in this construction. 中文怎么说？你姐姐多大? Right? So this is one that we know from lesson 2. We know how to ask how old somebody is. Here we just simply say, 你姐姐多大? How old is your older sister? 中文怎么说？你穿多长的裤子? So pants are long. Here we're going to use the adjective 长. 你穿多长的裤子? 多 is simply put in front of the adjective and it creates a question. Let's practice. Translate the sentences below using 多 interrogatively. And you're going to want to pause the video here because I'm about to reveal the answers. 第一，中文怎么说？你弟弟多高? So here the 多, the adverb 多, is placed in front of the adjective 高 to ask a question about your younger brother's height. 第二，你今年多大? Again, the 多, the adverb 多, is placed in front of the adjective 大 to ask how old somebody is. How big are they? Referring to their age. 第三， 你穿多大的衣服? Right, so what size clothes do you wear? Here you can simply put the adjective 大 immediately after 多, and it turns it into a phrase or into a question asking about the size. And here it's all based on the context, right? Because in question number 2, we were asking what year you were born. But here the context is clothing, wearing. So we know 多大 is referring to somebody's size. For additional explanations and examples of these 4 grammar points, please do see your textbook, pages 238 to 240.
For those of you interested in learning how to correctly write using the proper stroke order all of our new vocab words from Lesson 9, Dialogue 1, this section is for you. So follow along. The first word is 商店. 商店, meaning store, shop.
买, meaning to buy. 东西, meaning things, objects. 东, by the way, means east. 西 means west. 售货员 is a shop assistant, a sales clerk. 衣服 meaning clothes. 件 This is the measure word for shirts, dresses, jackets, coats, and other articles of clothing. 衬衫 meaning shirt. And if you wanted to say one shirt, you would say 一件衬衫. 颜色 meaning color. 黄 meaning yellow. 红 meaning red. 穿 meaning to wear. 裤子 meaning pants. One pair of pants, 中文怎么说? 一条裤子. How? In this lesson, it means size. 中 meaning medium or middle. 便宜 meaning cheap, inexpensive.
For those of you looking to improve your reading proficiency, there's a really good app out there that can help you with this. I should warn you, though, that while it's free to download the app, many of the services on the app itself will require you to pay for it. The name of the app is Du Chinese. Du, second tone, means to read. If you don't want to pay for the app, that's fine. There's actually quite a bit of free material on the app that you can use, so it's definitely worth trying out. One thing that I really like about the app is that it includes short articles entirely in Chinese about a whole range of interesting topics. And each article includes pinyin and English translation. And if you even want, there's an option to listen to the text. So go check out this app. To do that, all you need to do is scan the QR code on your screen or click on the link below in the description section of the video. And finally, once you feel comfortable with all the new vocab words, characters, and grammar points from the first half of Lesson 9, Dialogue 1, don't forget to take the Lesson 9, Dialogue 1, Part 1 pre-class practice quiz in Canvas before our next class session. 好的，下次见，再见。